Hey, folks, this is going to be a real doozy. So, you might have heard that Kamala Harris went on 60 Minutes to be interviewed, and 60 Minutes released their own copy or version of their interview. It wasn't 60 Minutes, of course, it was only about 21 minutes, just shy of, and a lot of that was done with fill in. But here's the thing, what I found most interesting, and my take on this, which I wanted to capture, is the fact that, well, this little doozy, which starts off with this fine gentleman performing relatively well as far as asking questions before the Dice and Slice crew got a hold of whatever was actually said. And, well, here's the thing. Um, if you look at the YouTube comments, it seems that the facade put up by the mainstream media and all of their fun editing, where journalistic integrity goes to die, well, it seems that, yeah, no one's falling for it anymore. I mean, it certainly isn't like YouTube is some bastion of conservatism that would, be attacking, what they do. I mean, I don't think most conservatives even would consider to watch any programs put on by CBS, especially after the debauchery that was the CBS hosted debate between Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, not between her, between Tim Walz and JD Vance. Uh, you know, and their fact checking of things that they weren't allowed to fact check and interrupting and just acting completely unprofessional. But it seems that the whole thing is just lost at this point for them because unlike the narrative that's being said ad nauseum on virtually all of these leftist owned and controlled media outlets, you can see clearly in these comments that people who are watching YouTube aren't falling for this nonsense because they're literally slamming them. And most importantly, they're slamming them because, well, this was a fully edited, dubbed over, taped over interview, meaning to say that nothing that was actually said in its full context was actually in the video. It's outrageous. The idea that they're able to get away with this, uh, well, at least in the mainstream, is astounding. How people can even look at this stuff and say, "Hey, this is okay. This is perfectly acceptable." You can see clearly in these comments, which are endless. Going back to the top, we can see that there is over 37,000 comments already. And part of the reason for me capturing this is because I am pretty sure that at some point CBS is going to disable the comments and make them go away because this is horrendous. I mean, there is nothing here anywhere that I could find in pages and pages of scrolling that would suggest that anybody is falling for their nonsense anymore. Which, to be honest with you, is sort of liberating and enlightening for me because you watch any of the primary media sources that are out there, whether it's written in places like the Washington Post, the New York Times, or pick any other rag you'd like that's controlled by the same consortium of media outlets that control the same stations, including, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, which has got to be one of the worst, CNN, Fox, all of these mainstream ones that are owned by the same conglomerates and just playing nothing more than, controlled opposition at times. But like this shows, in my view, that people just are done. They are absolutely sick and tired of the gaslighting that is just never ending with what's gone on over the past 8 years. And to be honest with you, I feel great about it. I'm actually happy that maybe people are actually waking up. I mean, it, it, 60 Minutes is known for unbiased takes. Viewers are requesting the unedited video. Everybody's calling it out after the segment that got aired showing that it was completely modified from the original answer having to do with Netanyahu um, and a response about the Israeli Palestinian conflict. And, it's with Hamas. It's just painful to listen to. It's the editing on this is so atrocious. Why put voiceovers over her while she's talking? Why all the jump cuts? What are you all doing? Can we get the version without the edits, please? This guy should have moderated the ABC debate between Trump and Harris. Release the it's probably the most positive comment about the interview. And it's no fault of the interviewer from what I could see. But people are demanding releasing the unedited version of the video. What is the point of having an interview if you're not going to broadcast what the person is actually saying? Why we didn't come here to have you summarize what the responses were. We came here to hear what her responses were for ourselves. What's wrong with you folks? Why would you choose to do this? It's absurd. I mean, but this is just endless. A day ago, 3 hours ago, which question did she even actually answer? I mean, great journalism, 60 Minutes. She did nothing to persuade voters. She made her case worse. Uh, I do have to say that the person interviewing Kamala, I don't know who he is, but he really did a good job. Um, he did ask her some real questions, so kudos. But you do need to show the unedited full interview. So people are just awake at this point, and to be honest, like I said already, it's just refreshing to see that people are starting to see through the nonsense charade that has been put on, and how the whole media has been covering for everything that these clowns have been doing for the past, really, if you think about it, 12 years, right? This goes all the way back into the Obama administration and the nonsense of the media covering for the politicians, and gaslighting the public endlessly. But I mean, again, this isn't like I'm on Truth Social. This isn't like I'm on X. It's not like I'm watching this on Rumble. This is YouTube. I mean, you can't get more far left when it comes to, the people who generally, watch this stuff, to see that there's just nothing. I mean, you could just go on and on and on. What is it? Everybody's asking. Why is this edited? How bad is this thing really? What does she really say? Stop your propaganda broadcasting. Editing is so bad. Why is it edited like this? I mean, this is embarrassing. Look, right here. I just said that, and look where it says right here. I couldn't have queued that up more perfectly if I tried. Fishing for her answers via voiceovers. What's up with that? It's just no accountability. That's the problem. And the whole journalistic thing, like journalism and all these quote journalistic outlets, quote unquote, are supposed to have special protections in order to keep the public informed so that they can actually take action by changing what they vote for and demanding changes that support the people, the citizens of the country. And the media is playing this roughshod position where they are manipulating everybody. Everybody. It doesn't matter whether you watch Fox News or you watch DNC. It doesn't matter. It's the same nonsense regurgitated. The only difference with Fox is you get this controlled opposition facade, a pretend game, but in reality, it's more or less the same nonsense. Never getting into anything of any substance, and never calling out the real issues. They just make sensationalized things so you can discount it, but not even actually paying homage to the actual issues that people have problems with. And you know, it's clear here, without exception, just going through this, there isn't anybody who's walking away out of these thousands of posts who actually is buying this anymore. And hey, that's a good thing, right? At least I think it is. I'm hopeful that me posting this thing and taking this little video clip to show you what's here and what the rest of the world is really saying, I'm hoping that perhaps so those people who are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, who are suffering from, a complete bombardment of all of these media outlets, all parroting the exact same narratives, I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, even if it's a couple of people that might hear this, will go, wait a minute, really? Is this what people really think? I mean, I just thought this was a few right wing lunatics, not like, the middle, what used to be the middle, like people that you used to associate with as a Democrat, going back into the, 2000s. It's not that anymore. And the parties have changed. You have one party now who has almost gone into this full Marxist, globalist, identitarianism based policy set and direction, while the other party has basically bifurcated into uniparty, uh, neoconservatives who are really about the military-industrial complex, while the other side has moved to of that same party has moved into this very America first, very uh, rights-driven, small government-driven, preserving our constitutional republic. That's what they're doing, and that's what they're advocating for. Yes, it comes with some baggage of some of the right-wing stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, if you've got people like Thomas Massey, and others similar to him, Rand Paul is an example, Matt Gaetz, Byron McDonald's, Blackburn. If you have these people, Kathy Blackburn, I think her name is, from these various states who are actually not bought and paid for by PACs, not controlled by megacorps, not bought and paid for by BlackRock, not doing stock trading, and writing policy based on trades like Nancy Pelosi and family, and all these other ones. They're Jerry Nadler with his gold bars, or Jeremy Bowman, pulling fire alarms to stop things, but not being called out for it in a proper way. He's barely even censured for it. I mean, it's just this uneven, handed thing that just keeps going that nobody is doing anything about. And, you're being gaslit nonstop by these media organizations. And if you're not going outside of the mainstream to get your news, you don't even know what's happening. So, how can anybody fault? There's a lot of hate going back and forth where people want to, like, divest themselves of family members over their political leanings. It is complete. This is all about the division that Marxism is all about. That's how they exercise and move forward their agenda, just as it was outlined by Karl Marx. I mean, it's just textbook. And the idea that the mass public is falling for it, or has been for so long, has been really scary. But this actually gives me some hope. So with that, I'll say goodbye. Have a good night, and best of luck to you. Ciao.